The Laundromat is available on Netflix now, the new film directed by Steven Soderbergh about the financial scandal related to the so-called Panama Papers. If you haven't been paying attention, back in 2015, an anonymous hacker calling themselves John Doe has released tons and tons of documents detailing the operations of a Panama law firm called Mossack Fonseca. Those documents contained a lot of private financial information in regards to the rich elites all around the world. Specifically, how through Mossack Fonseca those people would set up lots of shell companies on tropical islands and through those companies handle their money. In some cases completely legally, in a lot though to avoid taxes, sanctions and even to commit fraud. The sheer size of the scandal and how widespread it was made ripples in the international financial community, and many investigations were done, but it seems like ultimately the whole thing just blew off eventually, especially in the minds of the general public. I wonder why that could be and whether the rich people implicated, that coincidentally own most of the traditional media, had something to do with it. In any case, now a film was made about the whole thing, and I think in a noble attempt to once again bring this to the public eye and force some action. Unfortunately, I think it doesn't do a very good job. At its core, it's very reminiscent of The Big Short. This too tells several intertwined stories, is based on facts and related to international finance. However, The Laundromat kind of feels like it was made by drunk people. It is unfocused, sloppy, disjointed, does an awful job of connecting the individual stories, and even those in themselves are plainly weak. For some reason, it also looks and feels very uncinematic, like it was made cheaply. And that's kind of surprising, especially when you look at the cast. Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Gary Oldman, David Schwimmer, Jeffrey Wright and Sharon Stone. I mean, that's a killer list, but they are all completely wasted in their roles. Perhaps the most unforgivable thing are the performances of Oldman and Banderas, who play the owners of Mossack Fonseca. Apart from having crucial actual roles, they also appear throughout the story as sort of outside cynical narrators that explain all the background of this stuff to the audience. Again, this is something pretty much stolen from The Big Short with the celebrity cameos explaining various financial instruments. Problem is, they both play those characters in such a cartoonishly evil fashion. They look like ripped straight from a Disney animation. They even do funny accents, and regardless of how accurate that may be, it is so overdone that it's impossible for the audience to treat them and the film by extension seriously. And it should be, because it depicts serious matters. Think of it like this. The Big Short had a lot of comedic sensibilities, and some of the scenes were absolutely hilarious, but that film had enough restraint to tone down the humor when it needed to, because the issues it talked about were serious and downright scary at times, and the film reflected that, and at its heart it was chilling and it was depressing. But The Laundromat is neither of those things, despite also taking on a similarly serious subject. It is mostly trying to be funny and occasionally beating the audience on the head with really crude messaging of, see, this is bad, don't do that. And I think that takes away from the movie as a whole and its message as well, because people will watch it, think, oh, that was a mildly funny comedy, and just go about their day. I cannot imagine anyone being moved by the film or inspired to at least read up some more about the Panama Papers. So instead of highlighting a topic and bringing it to a spotlight, The Laundromat buries it in grotesque humor and disjointed narrative. And this topic deserved more.